we are going to do the first year of your Saturn return. A lot of times your Saturn return starts at age 27 and it can end between age 29 and 30. And as you can see at the top, at the very top, you see is an 8 of hearts year. So 8 of hearts year is very important because right now, 2024, we are in an 8 of hearts year. It is ruled by Saturn because the number 8 is ruled by Saturn. So your Saturn return starting in a Saturn year, it makes sense, right? The way that I do it, I go Mercury, Mercury. So Mercury, Mercury is right here in this corner and it's the 5 of diamonds. 27 is the solar value of the ace of diamonds. So you start being in your diamonds at age 27. 27 is supposed to mature you, hence the number 8. Number 8 is maturity. So at age 27, you're entering into a Saturn year. You're in your Saturn return. So let's see how things pan out. So you have the 5 of diamonds sitting Mercury, Mercury. So with the 5 of diamonds being Mercury, Mercury, you see that it says roller coaster, finance, or emotions. Now, at age 27, obviously, if you're in the beginning, because it's an ace of diamonds, solar value 27, so you would probably see like a roller coaster of finances, because at the beginning of something, you're still trying to find your feet. You're still just wobbled out the womb, basically. You might have, this is at the age where you're finally done high school, college, well, obviously high school, but you're done with college. If you did like schooling, extended schooling, now you're officially done. Most people are officially done if they went to college straight after high school and then had to do 8 years in college or so on and so forth. Some people do 12 years, but as long as they went through at 27, they should be done. Well, before 27, but at 27, you absolutely should be done if you went straight out of high school. Now, a move to a new home, and then also the fact of business. So a move to a new home is around the age where you've been in your career. So why I say that you should have been done with college, because once you get out of college, you get your job, you start to earn your wages. And now at 27, you should probably be thinking about moving out. Like a lot of people move out at 27. I know for some people, they move out at 18. But I'm saying, like, if you come back home from college and then your parents are the kind of parents who actually want to help you in life, then, yeah, around 27, you'll be buying your first home. And then business. If it's an ace of diamonds solar value, ace of diamonds, let's look up what the ace of diamonds is, because the ace of diamonds is what? New job, business. So starting out into a new venture. And diamonds also deals with your finances, your wealth. So starting out into a new venture. And then when people start, it's not always going to be, oh, everything is everything. Also, another thing, some people, now if you're the person who already moved out from your parents' home long ago, now at this time, you're starting to change, because 8 brings about a change in maturity with that Saturn influence. So you might want to start renovating your home. Like you see things that, okay, this was childish maybe, and maybe I want to upgrade this, or, you see things that make you want to think of yourself as a grown person rather than a bachelor or a bachelorette. Business travel. So obviously when you think of the number 5, you think of travel anyway, and then you think of Gemini or Virgo. So those are like the quote unquote studious, because they're ruled by Mercury. So business travel makes sense. Mercury deals with cars, so that makes sense to start to travel, because now you're trying to get your name out there. If you're starting a business, you should want to travel, because how are people going to know who you are if you don't put yourself out there, right? Prophecies and vivid dreams. This is the time where you start to come into yourself. You're coming into the more mature you. So yeah, like you start to prophesize things that are going to happen in your life if you're really, really in tune. Venus, Venus. So the 9 of hearts is sitting Venus, Venus. Now, this is a twofold, because at 27, this is the time where some people are actually getting engaged, or they're getting married, or they're going through the counseling phase to start the process of getting married. It also deals with you going through, like, this is around the age where if high school sweethearts are still together, mine deals with endings, and then hearts deal with matters of the heart, emotions. So your emotions coming to an end, your feelings for someone coming to an end. This was a long ride, a journey, and it was good while it lasted, but now it's time to move on. Because as you can see heartbreak, grief, divorce, things like that. But then also 9 is wish fulfillment. So having a wish fulfilled, something that you wanted to have work out, it actually started to happen for you. You started to see something. If you're getting a new house, like sometimes when people move, they move into places where they feel more secure if they have a dog, or maybe your children want a fish or a pet, like some kind of pet. And then with it being Venus, then having, obviously Venus is the way that we feel about ourselves. So at this time, we're going through, like, some people are going through heartbreak because, like I said, some at this point it's like a matter of having to do the work. If we're in an 8 of hearts year, then that means that we've already sat down with ourselves. Sitting down with yourself was already something that you did. So now you're wanting to better yourself because Saturn pushes you forward, getting the things that you desire out of life. At this time is the time where you're coming into yourself. You're coming into your more mature, grown self. Neediness, that can be in relationships, that can be in your relationship with your parents. Like you're just moving out, so you're still going to feel like you need them for something. Maybe not. We go Mars. Mars is the 7 of clubs, and the 7 of clubs is like being a negative Nancy to yourself, self-doubt in yourself, not having the belief in self to feel like you can make it. And if you're moving out, then that's something that could be. If you're starting a business, sometimes people will have it in their head like, oh, I don't want to just jump all the way out. And the 7 of clubs is having faith and praying about it, having that small inch of the faith of a mustard seed that things are going to work out, and start to have positive mantras for yourself. Maybe start to have index cards around your house that just have positive affirmations on them, and you just read them as you're walking through the house. 7 also deals with the spiritual side, and then the clubs deal with the mind. So having like a different kind of mindset, starting to have different sets of beliefs at this age. Because we're in the age of social media, so some people are turning 27 while already being on social media for maybe 10, 7, 5 years even. And maybe this is their first scandal. Maybe this is where they've been on here for so long, and maybe this is the time that they pop, because 8s is work. So if we're in an 8 of hearts year at age 27, which is the Ace of Diamonds, then it will only make sense for someone at this age to go viral because they've been putting in that work. If you're on your own now, obviously you're conscious of the money that you're spending. You have to be, because now you have bills to pay. And then investing and then doing stocks and trading, like, that's a given. Personally, I feel like that's a given. And that is around the age where I actually started to be in the stock market heavy. So that even rings true for myself. 8s deal with wisdom also. So to see wise here is something like you're coming into an age of a different type of thinking. You're getting more wise. Now we're going to go to Jupiter, and at Jupiter, we have the King of Diamonds. What did I say? We're in an Ace of Diamonds year where you're starting a new business. And then what does it say? Businessman or businesswoman. Being all about your business. It doesn't necessarily, well, obviously, if it's saying businessman, businesswoman, diamonds deal with your finances. King is big dog. So just being more, like I said before, being more conscious about your wealth, or conscious about your money rather, but having creative ways to get money, because nowadays it's so many different ways to get money. So just being more creative. And then harvest, the month for the King of Diamonds is September, so that makes sense. When fall starts, you harvest, you start to gather up. And then this actually says financial harvest. So you're starting to gather up the troops. Like, the money is the troops, the money is the workers. So you're starting to allocated into different places. You're putting it into this stock or that stock or this home, because real estate was also something that came about up here for age 27. So starting to invest in different real estate. Maybe you are like a creative finance way, like a creative way to get money. Maybe you bought the house and you turned the basement into a basement apartment, and now you can rent that out, and they can practically pay your mortgage. So just finding different ways to come about to get yourself into being that wealthy person. And then it says dream homes. Obviously you could be moving into your dream home. A lot of times it doesn't make sense to your first home to be your dream home, but you can work your way up into that. So take that how it resonates with you. And then everything is in Jupiter, and it's Jupiter, everything is bigger, more on display. Jupiter deals with publishing. So to have writer here in a Jupiter position, maybe you want to write self-help books on how you were able to accomplish this, that, or the third, whatever it is that you've already accomplished. Maybe you can write a book on it and have it for sale, a creative way to get money. Saturn is the 7 of diamonds. The 7 of diamonds is actually the millionaire card. So you have the King of diamonds. We're at this age, it's an Ace of diamonds. So you have all these diamonds. You have all of these things and then you have the 5 of diamonds up there in Mercury. So you have all of these pointing towards this is a time to start to think about your future. Think about the wealth that you are to be accumulating. 8 of hearts is in a sun position at age 27. And then what does 8 deal with? 8 deals with Saturn, but 8 also deals with abundance. 8 deals with work. So you put in that work and you could be very well a millionaire if you start right now. If you start at this age and have the tools to start at this age, because you're watching this video, so you're like, okay, boom, she just said this, so this is what I have to do, and now I can plan it out like this. So if you start to plan it out, then you have a focus, you have a goal. Hey, I want to be a millionaire by age 30. Hey, 35, anything. But now you have the tools in order for you to get there. But we have to know that 7 is also a Neptune number. So 7 could be seeing things with rose-colored glasses. So that's something that we have to be mindful of, especially when I see something like family issues or family matters, like not seeing it from another person's point of view, because 7 is personal. So you're only seeing it from your personal standpoint, not wanting to see it another person's way. But then maybe it could be that they're not seeing it your way, because like I said, 7 deals with the illusion of things. And then it says you have the willingness to overcome a lot of obstacles to get yourself towards success and victory. Maybe this is a year where you're actually supposed to focus on self and not focus on other people. And that's why the 9 of hearts was in Venus, to tell you that it's time to end this, so that you could go into stepping into your power, and you could come out of this. On the other side of this, you could be more financially stable to take care of self. And if you're a man, to take care of your family once that time comes to start the family. And with it being in the Saturn position, this is something that you're going to have to work at. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you want to succeed, you're going to have to put in that work. Then we have the 5 of clubs and Uranus. So this Uranus is something unexpectedly, something strange, something out of the ordinary. So when I see explosive, it's like you have like tower moments, even something happening and you not knowing where it's coming from. It's just coming out of left field. You have to think about it a different way, because emotionally sensitive. You're at the age where now, like, maybe you were stone cold before, really having to keep your emotions in check, really having to put on that poker face and show up. Even if things are not all good, you have to show up and put in that work. So being emotionally sensitive out of nowhere, because Uranus is like out of nowhere. Like how did I start to feel these feelings? Why am I feeling these feelings all of a sudden? You're obviously going to be overly concerned. Well, not obviously, but you're going to be more concerned about your finances, because you're on your own at this point, independent. So you're You were last year living wherever you were living, and now you're living in a whole different spot, but you're living on your own. So you're being more independent now. Of course, you would be more secretive because you're in your own place. So it's not anyone's business what goes on in your house anymore because you're there by yourself. You don't have to answer to anyone. You don't have to explain why whatever is happening inside the house because it's your house. Five deals with Mercury, so having the intelligence, that makes a lot of sense. And then Uranus also deals with like building, starting to build upon something. So, and then it says adventure, like five deals with travel, like we said before, and you have business travel. Maybe you were home all the time and now suddenly you are an adventurer. You're going this place, that place. You're putting yourself out there so that you could get the money, so that you don't have to be weighed down or be taunted by financial issues. And then we have Neptune. This was really interesting to me because, again, you had the Nine of Hearts in the Venus position. So it could have been a breakup from a friendship because Neptune deals with endings also because it's the 12th house. So where is the 12th house? The 12th house is where we go to quote unquote die, to be in isolation. So isolating yourself from friends, cutting people off. It says sugarcoating ill feelings towards someone. So now you are at the point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to end this friendship. This isn't working for me. We're ending some kind of partnership because it also says work partnership. And then having to go through a deep healing behind that. Because this is something that people don't talk about often. Breaking up with a friend is the same as breaking up with your spouse, your boyfriend. I look at it on the same level. Why? Because when you have friends, you're doing everything that you do with a spouse except for being intimate with them. And I'm talking about intimate in the bedroom, not just having intimate conversations, but having intimacy in the bedroom. That's the only thing that you don't do with them that you would do with your spouse. You travel with them. You sit on the phone and talk to them. You tell them everything. You go out to eat with them. You guys just meet up all the time. You go on dates together. So you do a lot of things with them. So to end a friendship is just as heartbreaking. That Nine of Hearts, heartbreak. But this is something that you feel like you have to do in order to move into your best self. Some people aren't able to go with you, and that's okay. But heal from that. Mourn from it. Yes, absolutely.